Good morning, academics, students. Welcome back to today's video from Extra a Mile. What we're going to look at in today's lesson is we're going to learn what is academic writing, revise the writing process, understand what you have completed, understand what is the next step of the writing process, and we're going to learn how to find and use feedback. Now let's start with learning what is academic writing. According to the Writing Center in Colorado Technical College, academic writing is the following. Academic writing refers to a style of expression that researchers use to define the intellectual boundaries of their disciplines and specific areas of expertise. Characteristics of academic writing include a formal tone, the use of third person rather than first person perspective, which is usually used, a clear focus on the research problem under investigation, and precise word choice, which will refer to legalese. Like specialist languages adopted in other professions such as law or medicine, academic writing is designed to convey agreed meaning about complex ideas or concepts for a group of scholarly experts. Now that we know what academic writing is, we can look at the writing process. The first 3 steps of the writing process is what you have already completed. So step 1, you're going to receive a topic or a prompt, which is unpacked in class. Step 2, you generate the ideas or you brainstorm, which maybe was also done in class. And then step 3, from those brainstorming ideas, you choose the best ideas and write the outline, which you partly did in class and then completed at home. Then step 4 and 5 is what you just completed recently. Step 4, your outline is marked, and then you use that feedback to write the first draft. Then step 5, your first draft is marked with feedback and comments, and that is where you are now. The next step of the writing process is step 6. That is what you're going to be doing next, which is make changes based on those comments and write the second draft. This is also known as your final, as you can see in step 7, which you then use that feedback for future assignments. So now we're going to look at each step of the writing process briefly. So step 1 is where you unpack the topic. You are supposed to identify your instructional word, which in your case was discuss. You are supposed to identify the keywords, which will give you your main idea, as well as your major supporting ideas sometimes, only sometimes, which in this case it did not. And then you will be able to see as well in which form will your end product be, which in your case was a completed, well-structured paragraph. And then during step 1, you should also take note of any technical rules that you should follow that is given to you in class. Things like your font, your size, whether you should have a cover page or any images, and so forth. Step 2 of the writing process is when you generate ideas. As you can see, step 2 is always done in keywords. Now the topic I'm going to use for an example is discuss the connection between law and television. Okay, so the first example that I'm going to give you is the method of free writing. So in free writing, you just time yourself and you write a list down of everything that you can think of, no matter what it is, you just put it down. So you put the topic in your head and you just write for 5 minutes or 3 minutes straight. That is supposed to be very messy and basically giving you everything that's in your mind that you already know. During step 2, you can also do a little bit of research to make sure that the things that you are thinking of is actually liable to use, that you can actually find research to prove your points. The second method you could do for step 2 is listing, where you do bulleting or numbering, and you basically use leveling and listing to put your ideas in order. Now for my class, I would always advise them to start with free writing as their first method, and then move on to the next method, which is then listing or brainstorming, which could be a mind map, in the form of a mind map. So mind map, you would also have characteristics or link your things. If you want to start with a mind map, I would advise you to do a complete spider, where you just have random links everywhere, and then organize it using shapes or different highlighters or different colors or different underlining methods to then show what is important and what is not. From step 2, from generating ideas, you choose your best ideas and you move on to step 3, which is your outline. In step 3, with your outline, you will be using key phrases. Your outline you get in your study guide, and you fill it in, and you have your topic prompt at the top, your keywords, your full topic sentence. Then here's where the key phrases come into play during step 4, where you add your transitions and your supporting ideas. And then for step 5, you again have a full concluding sentence, as you have to paraphrase your topic sentence and a concluding transition. This you already did, handed in, and you got your feedback. Then you moved on to step 4, which is creating your draft. So step 4, step 5, and step 6, as you can see, are all done in full sentences and in paragraph form. So step 4 is your draft, which you already completed. Then the feedback is also done. You have to go to your feedback now and use it to create step 6 and 7, which is going to be your final draft 2 end product. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how a draft would look, and then how the feedback would look, and how to use that feedback and create your final. The topic example that I will be using from now on is discuss legal careers in the public sector. Okay, so this is an example of a draft full of mistakes. So as you can see, my text is in the correct technical things, which is justified alignment, so that all the lines are the same length, line spacing 1.5. Then I have to change the font to Arial or Times New Roman, and then 12. And then you have all your technical aspects. This is just a draft. It has a lot of mistakes. What I'm going to do now is save it and then upload it to Turnitin. If you go onto Blackboard and you view your completed assignment, you will be taken to Turnitin again, and this is more or less what you will see. So you can click on each note, and there you will see a message with each note. Sometimes it would be a comment like this, or an uploaded note like that, and the facilitator can also add a comment there. You might also see writing like this over your page. And then if you go down, in this case, which there were no references because it was an accident, as you can see there, a mistake. So if you go down, you can also look at your references at any notes there. Then your mark would be here at the top, and if you click on the right side, at the very, very top, there's just a quick mark sign. Underneath that, you see a paper and a pencil. If you click on that, that is any comments extra that the facilitator would make, and when they adapt your total, they would also write it there or on the page itself. So that is where you can find extra commentary. You can also see that there are voice comments sometimes. If you click on the little blocks below the paper, you will find your rubric. In this case, the rubric is not available because it's just an example. But your rubric will show you grey blocks where your mark is, and you have to use that and use that feedback as a tool itself and see what the rubric says and how you can improve to push your mark up. Any purple that you would see would be automatic raters from Turnitin itself, which the facilitator decided to leave there because they agree with it. Any underlining with stripes, in this case there isn't any because there's no resources, but any highlighting with notes would be paraphrasing or plagiarism, and you have to adapt those sentences. If you are done looking at your feedback and note-taking what you can improve on, then you can go back to your actual document and fix your work to submit a final. Okay, so this is the final product that I have adapted and changed. So I just quickly want to show you again if you want to insert a footnote. So I'm going to take this one away. So you're going to go to References and then insert footnotes, and there it's going to show you there. Then you just type your type of source, and there you go. There you have a letter number 3. Everything is correct there. In second semester you will be expected to do the full footnote citation. Okay, something else that's missing here is a cover page, so you can go to Insert, Cover Page, and then just choose any one you like. So I'm just going to take the plain one. And then you fill in everything. So make sure your student number is on it, your group number, your subject, the name of your facilitator, and the name of your assignment. Okay. So as you can see, I used the feedback. I changed the order of the sentences a little bit. I adapted my discourse markers or transitions, if you want to call them that. I changed the concluding sentence, and I basically added evidence and reworded some of my sentences as well to improve vocabulary. Then in the end I have my footnotes there, and on the next page I also have a reference list. You are expected to do research. Even if you feel that most of this is general knowledge, you have to prove yourself. Make sure to ask any questions that you have after this video. Ask your facilitator to help you and improve on your writing. Okay, so now that we've looked at step 4 and step 5 and step 6, just a reminder, you are expected to complete step 6 and 7 now, which is using your feedback to create your draft 2 and then submitting that as your final would be step 7. Remember to also use your rubric. Your rubric you can find in your study guide on page 27 to page 30. And you are expected to work on it yourself and see your own mistakes yourself and grow in your work. Something else you could look at is an example of a paragraph in your study guide on page 31, and you could also use the editing checklist on page 50 to make sure that you do everything correctly before you submit. And that's it for today. Thank you and happy writing. That's it for today, academics. If you have any questions, please comment down below, as well as if you have anything that you struggle with and would like a video on.
Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.